Thank you all for coming. Has anybody ever had homemade applesauce? My family's been making applesauce ever since I can remember, and it tastes so much better than the store-bought stuff. So basically, you make applesauce in 3 basic steps: selecting and preparing the apples, cooking the apples, and making the sauce. And then I'll kind of briefly explain how to can it. So to get started, first you want to select the apples that you want to use. I use 2 different varieties, a sweet and a tart apple, but you can use just one variety if you'd like. You want to wash the apples and remove any of the bad spots. And you want to cut them into 6 to 8 wedges. You don't have to remove the seeds or the skins or anything like that. And then, once you get the apples cut, you put them in a pot. I use a roasting pan, a large roasting pan, because you want to do a lot of them at one time. So we'll put them on the stove for about a medium-high heat on the stovetop and start cooking them down. As they're cooking, once you put them on the stovetop, you want to add a little bit of water to them to make sure that they don't stick and everything. And stir them frequently just so that you'll keep them all cooking evenly and then they won't stick. As they start cooking down, you'll want to, I mash them with a potato masher. You want to get them really soft and mushy. Once they get soft and mushy, then you can remove them from the heat. And then we're ready to make the sauce. So there's a squeeze-o machine that you can use. It is a hand-cranked strainer for making purees and sauces. You load all your cooked apples into the hopper and you start cranking it. And the sauce will come out one side of the squeeze-o machine into a bowl. The seeds and the skins will all come out the end into a waste bowl. I like to put the seeds and the skins through in the second time just to get all the juices out of them. And at that point it should be pretty dry. So once you work through the apples, put the applesauce into a large pot, and once you're done, then your applesauce is made. But you'll want to warm it up on the stove again. And at this point you can sample the applesauce to see if it's the sweetness that you like. I don't add any sugar to mine unless it is a little on the tart side because I use tart apples. And then if you like cinnamon, this is a good time to put cinnamon in it. So basically at that point you have homemade applesauce. So we can go on to the canning steps. So you want to prepare your jars by putting them through the wash machine or the dishwasher. I leave them in there until I'm ready to use them. That way they stay nice and hot. And you want to get the canner going, fill it with water, put it on the stove, and start heating it up. At that point, your applesauce will be hot. So you want to fill your jars up with applesauce, and then put the jars into the canner as you fill them. Once the canner is full, you can bring the water level up to above the jars and bring it up to a boil. Once it reaches boil, you want to keep it at a boil for 20 minutes. After your 20 minutes, take it off the heat, take the jars out of the canner, and let them cool down on their own. As they cool, you'll hear this pinging sound, and that's the jar sealing. So after all that, you have homemade applesauce. So in conclusion, applesauce is 3 easy steps: cleaning and cutting, you're cooking them down, and the saucing. And then if you want to can them, then you have homemade applesauce all year round. Thank you, everybody.
How long is it? 4:15?
That was what we decided earlier.